Can you believe it? We are like already, it's almost about to be Christmas. My husband said to me the other day, he was like, baby, you know it's Christmas next week. I'm like, baby, do you know it's Christmas next week? Because I know it's
That part.
right there, you know? Good morning, good morning. Okay, I see Tish, Sherry, Nora. Good morning, good morning, good morning, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. Good morning, Princess, Kenneth, Dr. Rocks. Good morning. Yes, it is a blessed morning. We are excited to be here.
Man.
Bern, telling people hello, hello.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited about the topic today and Friday, as well as what you are doing on Saturday. I mean, I'm like full over the idea of it just because of everything that I've watched happen, not only in your life this year, but the things that have happened in my life this year. And those things could not, hear me, have been accomplished without vision. So that's what we're going to talk about today, y'all. So I'm excited.
Yes, yes, yes. So I see everybody is logging on, and what typically ends up happening, especially once you and I start talking, we go all over time. So we're just gonna jump right in it. So family, for those of you who are jumping in, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're new and somebody tagged you and say, hey, you need to listen. My name is Dr. K, and I'm the founder of Freedom by Design. And this morning I have the beautiful Bernadette Clark Wright who is joining us. Bern, you want to tell them about yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Bernadette Wright, and while I'm an attorney by trade, I'm also the founder of Blue Phoenix Enterprises. And there's a couple of things that go under that, which is public speaking. I have a brand that's coming out next year as well as a TV show and a radio show. So I'm excited about things that's happening next year. But for today, let's talk about some vision, Trina.
All right, vision, vision, vision. So, guys, understand. Anytime we start our conversation, there's always some background that's happening. So we don't just jump right on Facebook and start just talking. Of course, there's some prayer and there's some conversation. So this morning, I want to lay the foundation for our conversation by reading to you Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 through 4. And it says, then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and it will not prove false. Though it will linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and without and will not delay. See, the enemy is puffed up. His desires are not upright, but the righteous person will live by his faithfulness. Now, right there. Now, in another version, it'll say, it won't tarry. So y'all know what tarry means. That means that thing is not going to wait. It is, but it's for an appointed time. So when we start to talk about vision, Bern, and we've had an opportunity to participate together in the Freedom by Design vision board process. And this year it's going to be a little different because we're going to be virtual. And I think it probably is going to be even better because we get to be in our homes, comfortable. We can do what we need to do and really be relaxed. But when we start talking about vision, because so many people are like, well, I don't know. I'm chasing my vision. I'm trying to find my purpose. What is it? And I hear it so many times because, you get those texts. I'm sure you get them like I get them. I want you to be my mentor. I'm trying to find my purpose. Well, understand, purpose is not on my door. When you rung the doorbell or when you send a text, I can't tell you what his vision is for you. I can only talk to you about what he has done for me. And I started our prayer this morning with something that I heard Pastor Todd saying. I don't know if we're going to start from that end or not, but allowing us to be his vessels. So, when I listen to that word over and over again, and I'm like, okay, he needs a vessel. That thing has to be visible. And then it's going to be vast because some of us are looking at it this big. So which direction we going to start? Let's jump right into it.
Girl, we're going to start right there. So it's interesting that you said that because one of the things he talked about was there's a difference between sight and vision. So when you think about sight, we're thinking about those things that we can see. We're thinking about the tangible things in our life, but our vision requires us to see beyond that. Our vision requires us to know that there may be nothing in your circumstances that say you're going to have what God said you're going to have. May be nothing you're currently even doing right now that says you're going to do what God said you were going to do. Because I can tell you sitting right here, and I'm sure Katrina can testify to the same, you could not have told me that I would be in the situation that I'm in right now a year ago today, because that wasn't my thought about what was supposed to happen. That wasn't my vision. But here's the difference. Your life begins to change when you get your messages directly from the visionary. So one of the things he talked about was that sometimes our visions aren't coming to pass because they're things that we can do on our own. As we enter into this phase where we're going into this vision board party, it's going to look a little bit different. But Katrina, it's because it's supposed to look different because more people are supposed to be impacted, right? And because we know more this year about vision than we did last year, and about how God will make that thing come to pass. So first, we got to spend some time with the visionary. So one of the things he talked about was, if you look at it this way, God is the coach. Right. And the coach is the visionary. And the visionary is the one who's running the plays. And he needs people who are willing to run the plays, which is a willing vessel, in order to make his vision for our lives come to pass in the earth, because his vision is greater than our vision. So sometimes I remember years back, if I look at like my old vision boards, right? You know, the one where you put the car, you put the dog, you put the boat, you put all this stuff that you can probably get on your own if you just worked hard enough, if you just decided to get your priorities straight, if you just decided to stop getting your hair and nails done every week. There are things that you can do by yourself, but they may not necessarily have a kingdom impact. They may not necessarily have kingdom consequences. So what is it that he birthed inside of you that makes you go, woo? And it's got to make you go woo a little bit, because you got to know that you can't do it by yourself. So part of the problem is those things that we may have as visions, if they didn't come from God, that's not the vision you're supposed to go with, because his plans are greater than our plans for our life. So as we go into Saturday, we have to start the conversation with, am I just talking about like my idea of what I want? Because if God didn't tell me to run that play, I can't run that play. I got to tell you, last year, when we came to your vision board party, I had a big blackboard and these big, pretty gold letters that you provided us with. And I wrote God's plan on there. Can I tell you, I put nothing else on that vision board, and I brought it home like, oh, I'm gonna finish it when I get home. But I just kept looking for it, and it kept saying God's plan. And I spent the year getting in alignment with him, because that was my word. And I spent the year seeking his face about what he wanted me to do. So this year, so many different things began to happen for me in the spiritual realm. And now they're manifesting in the physical, because I can hear more clearly from him.
I love it. I love it. You know, you said so many things as I was just taking my notes. Number one, you know, I'm a football girl through and through. And we talk about God being the visionary and the coach. And, you know, we want to put everything on the coach. You know, when the game doesn't go well, they want to fire the coach. When it's a losing season, they got to fire the coach. They're going to fire the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator, all of that. But what about the vessel? What about the players? What about us? Because he has designed it. He has definitely given us freedom by design. He has given us the playbook. We got the playbook. It's sitting right here. But we want to run our own plays. We don't want to execute. So I'm thinking this morning as we're talking, who is going to really be a empty vessel? When you talked about your vision board with God's plan on it, and that was the vision. It was for him to do what he needed to do in your life. And as I sit here, I'm looking at my vision board for this year, 2020, and the one for 2019. And you are absolutely correct. I said, she all over here standing on top of my desk, because when I look over here, I see money, I see Rolex watches, I see Mercedes Benz. And when I looked at the Benz, I said, well, I can get that if I work hard. Just like she said, God didn't have to do anything miraculous. But I see the travel. And the thing about it is, what I have learned this year in my walk with all of the stuff, God will allow us. He'll give us our permissive, you know, he has a permissive will. He'll give us the stuff so that we can get in alignment with his perfect will to see, even with the stuff, even with the money, even with the things, there still is a void that stuff can't fill. You have to get in alignment with my vision. You have to really be a willing vessel to bring forth everything that I have asked you to bring forth. Then I started thinking, when you were talking, I said, okay, when he says it, when it's from him, when I hear it from him, it's almost like Avril spoke about this morning on the God Zone. There's a leap on the inside, just like with Mary and Elizabeth. There's a leap that occurs because is no way that you can do all of this by yourself. And even as he's saying, okay, put this picture, like I have a picture of eagles soaring, and not one, it's a group of them, because I know I needed, it had to be some change, but I didn't make the shift. I promise you, if I go back to February, I would have never told you I'd be where I am right now in December. But my board on the left side, which is 2019, had nothing to do with my faith walk. My board from 2020, as I'm looking at it, it's opportunities come and go, but your spiritual vision is non-negotiable. First quote that I'm looking at. Faith. It's not about religion, it's about relationship. Faith walk, let us pray, Bible study, all of those things that I'm like, none of that was in 2019. He didn't take anything away from me. He gave me all of the stuff only to show that the stuff means nothing. My word for this current year right here, Bern, was becoming.
And become you did. And I've watched you just kind of unfold, like this beautiful plant just unfolding, and things are continuing to even be revealed in you. And there are more blossoms that are being sprouted, but I'm about to go all the way to the left. So let me get back in this vision box that we're in today. So let's talk about the vessel. Being a willing vessel can sometimes be difficult when you're used to being the coach and you're the one who wants to call the plays and you're the one who wants to say how your life is going to go and how you're going to do it. No, we're in a season where God has sat us down. We're in a season where God has said, be quiet. We're in a season where God is saying, listen. And when you decide to do those things, God will chart the plan for you if you'll listen to his voice, and if you'll do kind of what's called pivoting when he says to pivot. Everybody on this call had to do some pivoting in this season, because if you did not pivot in 2020, you had to pivot. So the question becomes, did you pivot towards your purpose? Did you pivot towards your purpose? And if you didn't, it's time to do that. Because here's the deal. If you're not a willing vessel and you just want to keep going about life with your plans in mind, what kind of impact are you really going to have on the world if you did not consult him first? Because sometimes we're thinking, oh, you know what? I want to get on that stage and I just want to speak to, gosh, that'd be so amazing to speak to just 10,000 people, when he's trying to get you in front of 10 million. But you settled for what your vision was, because his vision was way bigger than that. But he had you take a route that was unfamiliar. He had you take a route that you didn't think would get you there. I promise you, Katrina, even throughout this year, I had peace with God, because I knew in my mind, I was like, well, God, you gave me the name, you gave me Blue Phoenix, you gave me Kingdom Gear, you gave me I Am, you get, all of these things you gave me. I felt like I was supposed to be doing something with them, but at the same time, I didn't. You understand? I felt like I was supposed to be doing something with it, but at the same time, I didn't, because this had to be a year of shedding. Because sometimes God will give you a vision, but there are some people that are going to have to be shed away from you before you can carry the vision forth, because we have a habit of trying to drag people along with us into our vision, and everybody can't go. Everybody wasn't assigned to sit next to you. Everybody wasn't assigned to walk with you on that journey. And so God had to show me some things, and he had to teach me some things. He had to reveal me to me. Like, let's start with that. He had to reveal me to me, because none of us are perfect. And I had I had the same issues I'm talking about, where I needed to be in control. But once I let go and let God, he said, okay, now that you're going to release full control to me, let me give you something, child. Let me teach you how to talk to me in the spirit. Now that you've released full control, let me give you the gift of prophecy. Now that you've released full control, let me give you the gift of vision. And he continues to pour things out to me. And now he's saying release. So what is God saying to you? Have you got before the king and said, okay, God, Saturday is coming up. I know Katrina has put together the plans for us to be able to have this vision. Have you sat with your mate? Let me pause for a second, because the Holy Spirit just dropped that in. Oh, hallelujah, God. Have you sat with your mate? Have you sat with your partner in life? Have you sat down with that man or sat down with that woman and said, baby, we need to come together. We need to pray together. We need to seek God for what his vision is for our marriage, what his vision is for our children, what his vision is for our life, and what his vision is for us to be doing in the earth, because there is kingdom work that you have to do. And when you're not in alignment with one another, God might have gave you that vision, but then you bumping up against this wall. You bumping up against this wall that you sleep next to every single night because y'all didn't get into alignment together. Go talk to him. Go talk to her. Stop being scared to tell that other person about your vision. Stop being scared to talk about your dream. Stop thinking that, oh, it's way too big, they're not going to understand it. Pray about it. Ask God what to do, but get into alignment with your spouse on where it is you need to go, because I'm telling you, that walk is going to look different. That talk is going to look different. And it may not be easy. It may be a difficult conversation to have. Lord have mercy. It may be a difficult conversation to have, but you're going to have it, because until then you're not free, because God is trying to give you the key and you still walking around in chains. Your marriage ain't supposed to be a chain to your vision. It's supposed to be something that helps to carry you. It's supposed to be a wind, because you're going to need that support system, because nobody said carrying out the vision was going to be easy.
Say that, Bern, as you were talking just in that last point about consulting your spouse, your better half, having that conversation, y'all praying together, it brought me back to hearing you speak last year at the vision board event, because you talked specifically about that, because so many of us guilty. I'm like, she all over here once again, Lord, come on now. I'm looking at my 2019 vision board and it was all about me and my stuff. And last time I checked in 2019, I was real married. So, I mean, come on now. We cannot do it and pop up and be like, okay, well, this is the vision, this is what we're doing, and expect somebody else to be on board. No, we got to talk. We got to pray together. We got to meditate. We have to have some conversation, because just like we know we are the vessel, he's going to use us. If you're a married person, he's not using you by yourself. It's a whole situation. A part of that journey is going to be what occurs in that house. So you have to have that conversation. You shouldn't be going to the vision board party by yourself. You need to have a conversation and bring them, so at least, even if it's the beginning, they can listen. We all started from something. We all didn't just jump in and say, okay, I'm going to do the best vision board and the Lord is downloading to me and I hear him. Don't get all spooky with your spouse. Come on now. Let them sit down and pray with them, because understand, when we start putting that stuff out there, when he does start to download, Bern, it's not going to be little stuff. Remember, I said vessel, visible, and vast. So it is going to be big. You talked about everybody not being a part of it. That, you know what it says to me? I couldn't share and can't share everything that God is telling me and giving me with everybody, because it is vast. It is big. If I say, you know what, I'm going to reach billions of people through this platform, as Dr. K, Freedom by Design, doing this and writing books, they'll be like, girl, what you talking about? You'll have all those naysayers trying to pull you back, because they're seeing it from their perspective. They're looking at where they are from their vantage point. How can she do that? She's doing this video from her living room. That's her studio. What is she talking about? Because God didn't ask me to share it with you, just a few people. And then as that thing begins to manifest and unfold, then you're able to share it with a few more and a few more. Because some of us, we have not started moving or walking in our purpose and God's expectation of us, because we told the wrong person and they shot us down from the jump. They pulled the wool from up underneath, the rug from underneath our feet. They hid our shoes. We can't even walk. We got to go bare feet. We can't do what we need to do. It's 46 degrees outside now. I can't even go because they done hid my shoes, because you were not supposed to tell them about your vision. When I do my vision boards, Frank and I, we got our stuff right here. Everybody don't walk in here. We need to see this. Not everybody. We can talk about a lot at the end, but in the beginning, everybody doesn't need to know our prescription. It was tailor-made for us. What you think about that, Bern?
Man, when I tell you, like, even before this call, like, there are things that I know that I will not speak a word about, because God told me and he didn't say to release it. So I had to even get permission to say, God said you're going to have a TV show in some form or fashion. God said you're going to be on the radio in some form or fashion. And so I'm going to speak those things that are not, because I know my God is real. And I know that those things are going to come to pass. So I have to be ready. I have to be ready. And then he'll send a confirming word. Thank you to my sister who called me with that yesterday. So here's the bottom line. The reason you can't share your vision with everyone is because it ain't everybody's vision. Number one, it's what God gave you. Okay. The second part of that is there's still this crabs in a barrel mentality. Okay, because I'm just gonna be right now. Okay. There's still that mentality that says that if I come from my perspective and I've not seen anything that great before, and I've not seen anything that big before, then I don't have that perspective. I don't have that vantage point. And it's not that that person is intentionally being evil. It's not that that person is intentionally being mean. It's not that that person is intentionally trying to strike you where it hurts, because your vision is in your gut. Your vision to be in your belly. Your vision to make you feel some kind of way when somebody tries to mess with it, when somebody tries to attack it. And it's not that that person is really trying to do that, but they just haven't had the proper exposure to understand the vision that he gave to you. That's why he gave it to you. And so I'm shifting somebody's thought here on how somebody responded when they shared their vision to them. It wasn't that. It was because they couldn't grasp it. And so sometimes people think they're protecting us from our own thoughts, right? They're like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do it that big. Maybe you should just, do something a little smaller at first and just see how it works out. You should do it the way God told you to do it. Amen. Okay. So as we go into this vision board event this weekend, just know you should do it the way God told you to do it, because he is the co-creator. Okay. He's the author, and then he gets in there, he becomes the co-creator with whatever it is that he told you to do. So as we're kind of like, sliding on into this next part of the segment, Katrina, because you're right, we always do go over. You talked about this vision. The vision must be visible. And you're pointing at your boards and they're sitting there right in front of you. And Michael Todd said something about this. He said, when he talked about writing it down and making it plain, but he also talked about, can you read it on the run? That means if you need a simple reminder, Katrina, you can run into your office and just simply look at your vision board and you'll be reminded of what God said. Because sometimes things are not going to line up the way you think they are in the natural. Sometimes things are going to come up against you. And you'll need to be able to look at that thing and say, but that's what God said, and connect with that thing. But he also said something that was super powerful that I want you to talk about. If somebody came to you today to fund your vision, could they do it without you even opening your mouth? That means if you didn't write it down, you don't have a piece of paper to hand them. You don't have a blueprint to hand them. You don't have a vision board on the wall. Could they do it without you even opening up your mouth?
I thought about that thing long, hard, and deep, because so many of us have been given businesses, restaurants, all of these different things. And it's like, I'm waiting on the perfect time. And when Michael Todd said that, and he said, would a person be able to fund it? Do you have a website? Does your Instagram say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm getting ready to open up this vegan food truck, or whatever it might be? Does what you're putting out in the world, does it say that? Do you have a bio sheet? Do you have, when someone is asking you to come and speak, do you have a headshot? Are you ready? What are you putting out there? Or are you putting a selfie? Is that what is it that you're putting out into the world? When someone goes to the Freedom by Design website, they need to be able to, okay, what is this about? Okay, she's doing what? She's going to engage, encourage, and empower. What does that look like? How is that? When they go to my page, because we're in this age of social media, are they going to see pictures of me half naked all over? Are they going to see me with this ratchet, this ratchet commentary? What are they going to see? Is it going to be something they can invest in? And a lot of times we have people around us that are looking to invest, or that are able to invest. We might not know, because we look at a thing from what it is that we see. And I think Brendan this morning say, when he told a friend, I'm going to open up my own business, that friend entrepreneur said, I'm going to invest the first $1,200. So sometimes we got to be careful how we're presenting ourselves, even to the people that are around us, that we think, oh, that person can't help me. I don't know where that 10,000, that $10 million is going to come from. I don't know, but I know I have to present myself in a way so that people see the light through me. They understand when I open my mouth where it's coming from. They know that he is in me, that I'm speaking from not what Katrina thinks, not my own perspective, but and when people say, well, so is it a God thing? Everything is a God thing. Everything that I do, how I walk, how I move, it's all. Yes, it is spiritual based, everything, because I can tell you about my walk, my journey, and I always want to be ready. So for that person, and I know it's so many that are on here who are talking about businesses, Bern, they're like, well, I'm waiting on God. God waiting on you. He already gave you the vision. He dropped it in your spirit. You got to take the first step. Do you have your recipes written? Do you have your business plan written? Do you have your 2-minute elevator speech ready, your elevator pitch ready? If somebody walked up right now and said, hey, who are you? What are you doing? Because I'm looking to invest $10 million in startup businesses. Would you get a piece of that right now, today? That's right, Roseanne. And are you investable? Are you somebody that, will they scroll past your page and say, oh yeah, I don't even know what they're doing. They're doing way too much. That's not it. Are you ready? What do you say? Because we're the billboard. We're the brand. It's Dr. K. Here I am right here. You see Bernadette Clark Wright right there. That you are your brand. You're it. Are you ready? Do you speak what comes out without you even opening your mouth? Does it say you're ready? You're a good investment. Do you even know have you written anything down? Or are you just kind of floating around with it in your brain saying, one day it's going to happen. They're going to knock right here on my door and I'm going to be ready. They're not knocking on your door. He's knocking on your door right here. He's knocking on your door right here. Are you ready? Do you know where you're going? If there's no vision, we can't follow. If the coach has no vision, the team is not going to win. We're all over the place. If the CEO has no vision, the company is not going to flourish. If the principal has no vision, the teachers aren't going to be able to teach effectively. They're going to be all over the place. Yeah. What are you saying? What is your vision? Have you written it down and made it plain? It doesn't have to be cumbersome. It doesn't have to be all of these big words. It needs to be clear and plain. When I sit and I look right here, I am very clear as it relates to what's going on, what he is doing in my life. When I first wrote it, was I as clear? No, I wasn't. But anybody can walk in here and look right now and say, okay, I see where she's going. Let's push that. Thoughts, Bern?
As you were talking about all the different things that people see, it just dropped in my spirit. Guard your mouth. Because out of the mouth comes what's in your heart is going to come out your mouth. So guard your mouth. And I say that because you never know when you're entertaining an angel. You never know when you're talking to somebody who might know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who could put you in a position that you wouldn't have been in otherwise. So guard your mouth. Yeah. And let your mouth always speak kingdom thoughts and kingdom words, because it's important. Don't get fleshy because you think that person, oh, well, they can't do nothing for me. Nobody, no way. That person is just a nobody. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know when they're going to be blessed enough to bless you. You don't know who God's going to use or connect you to. It's just in my spirit. Guard your mouth. Guard your mouth. Be careful what you say about a person. And that's what you talked about this last week. Be very careful. Be very careful, because you don't know who God is going to use to bless you. You do not know who God is going to use to bless you and to make that vision come to pass in this next season.
Girl, when you said you don't know when you're entertaining an angel, and we don't, we're gonna wrap up there, because we're looking at the exterior. We're looking at, oh, this is just a clerk in Walmart. This is just a server at this restaurant. You have no idea who that person is connected to. None. I've seen it happen over and over again. And I'm going to wrap up with this and tell a real quick story. I was working at a school in Miami, and I had been a teacher for 3 years, and a new teacher. I didn't even know about this position that was a promotion. It was called a staffing specialist position. But I had been promoted to the department chair, and it was an older lady that was on the team, and everybody used to give her a hard time. But you know what? I was consistent and fair with everybody. And one day she said, Katrina, do you have a copy of your resume? Now, mind you, I'm the department chair. So why you need my resume? I'm like, yeah, of course, I keep it updated. And she said, because my mom, the mom was the older lady. She said, my mom works at the district office and there's a position available, and I've been telling her about you. Mm-hmm. Mind you, mm-hmm. That lady didn't know me from Adam. She sat down with me, talked to me, prepared me for an interview. I promise you, it wasn't supposed to be my job. You had to be a teacher for 3 years. I had been teaching 3 years to the day when the lady's daughter came and told me about the position. Like, they had to wait until I was vested and my paperwork was done to even put me in the position. And I interviewed for the position with 20 other people who were more seasoned, more qualified. But because I treated that lady's daughter well, she helped me get my first promotion in education in a job that I didn't even know existed. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't looking for it. Mm-hmm. You never know who you're dealing with. Treat people good, no matter what. If they curse you out. My son, he was trying to give a homeless man water, and the man cursed him out in a drugstore. He was like, Mom, I'm never doing that again. It doesn't matter. You didn't do it just for him to say thank you. You did it out of the kindness of your heart because you knew it was hot. God will bless you. Don't worry about that. So family, be careful what comes out of your mouth. Be careful how you treat people, because you never know when you are entertaining an angel. I never thought about it until you said that. And I'm like, that young lady was an angel. People thought she crazy, whatever, but I never treated her bad. And who knew she was going home talking about me to her mom? Who knew? Bern, we're going to wrap up because we have Freedom Friday, where we're going to continue on this conversation about vision, because we want to lay the foundation, guys. We want you to start now. If you haven't, start praying about it, asking God, what is that word? What is that scripture that you want me to focus on with my family? Bring your family together. This is an opportunity. Who knew we were going to be able to touch more people? As I sit and I look, I'm like, we'll be able to have a big budget. We'll touch millions of people. Of course we can on a virtual platform. Who knew? As I'm sitting here looking at the post, and I'm like, God, in my mind, I just saw people for as far as the eye can see. Yeah, virtually. How about that? So I'm so grateful and thankful, guys. It's Wisdom Wednesday, and let me slide over so you can see the people who are going to be speaking. Again, we got Rutho and Avril, Ocillian Samillian, founders of the God Zone. We got Dr. Rock, Centrell Green, Tiffany Cannon, and the event will be hosted by myself and my husband, Frank. I'm excited about that. I continue to tell God, thank you and amen for what is going to happen. It's going to be an interactive event. So yes, you will be able to share your testimony. Yes, you can share the information with anybody who you would like to. The Zoom access code is right there. You see it across the middle. They just go to zoom.us and type the code in, and they will be able to participate. It's from 12 to 2, but we will open up the room at 11:50. So come on in. Let's get hyped. Get your stuff together. I know I saw my sister bringing her board in. My mom had already started cutting out her pictures and getting her stuff ready. So we're going to have a good time, and we're going to praise, we're going to celebrate, and it's going to be some truthful time. So it's not going to be all cutesy and fancy though. It's going to be real, and we're going to really talk about vision. We're going to really make this thing plain. So Bernadette, I thank you for joining me on this morning, and I look forward to seeing you on Freedom Friday, because I know on Friday it's going to be simply amazing. Thank you all for tuning in. Bern, did you want to say goodbye?
Bye, guys. See you guys on Friday.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.